It's here. It's fucking here. I've been waiting for this since the end. Episode 12, Season 1, Fate Unlimited Budget Works, Unlimited Hot Works. I'm so glad to see Episode 13 here. I'm just so happy to see this. The hype knows no limits right now. I have so much hype right now. I just went to fangasm so hard after watching this because I missed that budget, I missed that music, I missed that animation, I missed that art, I missed the characters, I missed the voice actors, I missed everything. And to see it finally back, the final half of Fate Unlimited Budget Works is here. And to be expected, it continues off right where it left off in the last season, and it brings a set of new questions and makes us wonder what is going to happen next. And I just want to point out, okay, that ending song, Archer, that white armored Archer, did you see that? Like, when I think of Archer, I think of red. That's what I think, because he wears a red suit. But he was wearing like an Archer-type Ranger outfit. You saw him holding a bow, and you saw his sword in the ground. That looked badass as fuck. That looked so badass. Like, Archer, wear white, man. Dude, that white looks so fucking bad. Ass. It's beastly, man. It's beastly. It's so beastly. Like, just in that ending song, in general. Okay, so clearly, Ufotable wanted to save some budget with the ending song, even though the ending song looked incredible, and it beats probably, the ending song alone probably beats the budget of some anime series. Just, you could tell Ufotable loved putting in some still frames in that segment because, you know, let's face it, they put so much budget into the scenes, the opening song. Like, did you see that opening? Oh my god, that opening quality. That opening quality, that is actually the opening quality similar to the animation of the series, which sometimes you'd think like that's not much, but when it comes to Ufotable's animation quality, if their opening is similar to the TV's animation, yo, that's fucking crazy, man. It's fucking crazy. So, yeah, animation. Do I really even need to dive into the animation, really? Do I need to explain why the budget seems to be unlimited when it comes to the series? The animation alone speaks for itself in the art style, so I think I can move past that point. I don't think I really need to dive into it unless I want to talk about symbolism and stuff like that. So, if you have been watching me for the past couple months, you probably know I've been reviewing Kara no Kyoukai, and I recently got to movie 5 of Kara no Kyoukai, and you're probably wondering, okay, what the fuck does Kara no Kyoukai have to do with Fate? Like, why are you talking about that series when this is a Fate review? Well, if you did not know, Kara no Kyoukai is a series that is in the same universe as Fate, and the, like, different physics and stuff that was in Kara no Kyoukai explains the universe of Fate Stay Night. And I found out some very interesting things in movie 5 of Kara no Kyoukai that play a huge role with what is currently happening in Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works. Now, before we go any further and explain theories and different things I have, I just want to clarify a couple things for new watchers, newcomers to these reviews. If you're an old visual novel, a reader, whatever, I have never read the visual novel. I have only ever played the prologue of the visual novel. And I've only seen Fate Zero Season 2, I watched Fate Khalid, and I've also seen, you know, the original Fate 2006, I was going to say 2016. I've seen the Fate 2016 version, the original Fate Stay Night. I never watched the movie of Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works. I never watched that movie adaptation. I'm glad I skipped over because it would ruin this series. So, I never watched the movie. I have watched all prior seasons, though, of Fate. I've watched all of Khalid, watched all of Zero, and then watched, you know, Fate Stay Night's original 2006 version. And so, just to let you all know, I have no idea what is going to happen in Unlimited Blade Works or Heaven's Fill. I've only speculated and theorized what I did in Season 1. So anyways, getting into this review. Getting back on topic. So the reason why I brought up Kara no Kyoukai is because movie 5 of Kara no Kyoukai introduced a very interesting mechanic into the verse of Fate. And if you haven't watched those movies, you might not really understand what I mean when I say counterforce. You probably won't understand what that means. It's kind of like a karmic justice. That's kind of what it is, and it's in the Fate verse. And after watching that movie and then looking at Season 1 and then seeing this episode, the counterforce is definitely playing a huge role in this series. It makes me want to dive even deeper into Kara no Kyoukai and the Season 1 again of Fate Stay Night. I gotta watch that BD behind me once again just to make sure if I missed anything or not. But after finding out about the Counterforce and then seeing the elements of how Unlimited Blade Works is being done, I'm starting to see how Kyoukai and Fate intertwine. Because the thing is the Counterforce, you can kind of put it on top of Archer and Shiro. How their ideals are completely similar but not identical, and they completely just go against each other. A battle of ideals, so to say. And that was kind of being shown in majority of Season 1 and in this episode. Also, the Counterforce can be used against Rin and Archer, how they had a dispute in this episode, and Archer decided to betray Rin and go onto Castor's side. So, to see that the Counterforce is playing a role right there. And I wonder how it's going to go from that point onward, because that's just interesting seeing it from that perspective. And diving in more into the Fate-verse through Kyoukai has made me understand certain elements of the series a lot more. So I recommend go watch that movie series if you yet to watch it. It's very good. By the same studio that has made this series, you know, Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works. They made, you know, Kyoukai. Now, getting into the details of the episode. It progresses the plot immensely. That's one thing I want to say. Like, mainly the main episode of this first starter of Season 2 is seeing Saber trapped. She is trapped by Castor, and as we know from the events of Season 1's ending, Castor, you know, took control of Saber, used Rule Breaker on her, and Saber is now the servant of Castor. And you see how Saber is slightly resisting the control effects of Castor. She's not liking this at all, and she's just trying to be bent and twisted into Castor's control. Castor's not liking this, and Castor's doing anything she can to try to make it to where Saber is on her side. And in the meantime, you had it to where Rin and Archer decided to attack Castor's lair. They go in to where Castor is, and they attack her in this episode. Come to find out, Archer decides to say, "Fuck you, Rin," and decides to betray her. And you kind of understand Archer's reasoning if you think about it, because Archer's already shown this type of personality. It was already foreshadowed in Season 1. It was already shown. He says he would choose the strong side and stuff like that. And he already told Rin at the end of Season 1 that this is your best time to take out Castor. You need to take her out now. And come to find out after that fight, after it was her best time, he decides to just leave Rin. So, clearly, Archer, he just chose his sides. He gave Rin a chance, he's like, fuck this, and just left. And that's what happened in the episode. So, you can't really blame Archer in a certain stance, like a certain standpoint, the way he was in this episode. But I wonder how everybody's going to think about Archer as a character after what he did to Rin. And also what this means for the future of Season 2, because Rin and, you know, or Shiro are they're masters with no servants. They're servantless, and they're just there. So what is going to happen since they have no servants? They're going to have to fight in this Holy Grail War with no servants, because Saber's gone, Archer's gone. That's quite the twist if you think about it, because if we think about Fate Zero, you know, it was always getting to see, you know, the servants fighting each other, masters fighting each other, but to see how this is being betrayed, it's like Shiro and Rin are going to have to take up the mantle and fight for their own survival in Season 2, because people are going to obviously come after them eventually. I mean, look at what Ilya did in the last season with Berserker. I mean, she's like, Berserker, and, you know, I'm going to go after Archer, and then I'll come back for you. And so, it's obvious. It's so obvious that they're going to need some help, or something's going to happen, which plays a role in the ending sequence of the episode. If you look at the preview, you had to where it mentioned that Shiro was saying, maybe we should team up with other masters. Like, he was bringing up other masters. So, I wonder who Shiro and Rin would team up with when it came to other servants and masters, because you have Gil at the end of Season 1 of Fate, and I highly doubt Gil would join forces with anyone. That's just like, that's such a long stretch that I highly doubt that. Ilya? Berserker? Nah, I highly doubt that too, so I throw that out there. Lancer and Kyoukai, they're working together, as we know, at the end of Season 1. It's possible, because they might, because we don't know what really happened to Kyoukai. I mean, I remember in the last episode of Season 1, Kyoukai and Castor were fighting. You saw Kyoukai pull out his, you know, his weapons. He started fighting the servants of Castor, and then Season 1 ended. So we didn't really get to see what happened to Kyoukai, which is obvious. I highly doubt the "Rejoice, I'm the badass priest" is dead. I highly doubt he is dead. And so, where is he? Like, where is he? What is he doing? What role is he also going to have to play? And is this maybe the person that might be helping out Rin and Shiro? I'm assuming, because that's the only person I would say that would be willing to help out Rin and Shiro, because caster came and attacked Kyoukai, walked into his fucking church. He's like, this is my church now, and messed up Kyurai's, you know, pray time. So, yeah, it's probably going to be Kyoukai that joins him. Or, yeah, I'd say Kyoukai. That's the only person I could say. I mean, Ryder was knocked out in Season 1. Yeah, okay, so that's my theory right there. One thing, though, I want to point out when it came to this episode is the way the animation was used in some of these scenes, like to show emotions on the characters. That's something I didn't really pay a lot to when it came to Season 1 of Fate. Like, I watched the animation, the way it played a role with the characters, but after watching Card no Kyoukai and looking at how Ufotable loves portraying their characters through animation alone, I'm now starting to understand how you should really perceive the Fate Stay Night series. You should really just watch it for the animation. Like, I'm not saying just cut out the text. I'm saying you need to pay attention to the animation and the body language of the characters to understand what is really going on. Because Rin, she was kind of giving, like, a narrative and dialogue without saying any words in this episode. Like, at the end when she started crying and she was getting upset, and you see how she was sad about what happened with Archer, you got these character development little signs in this episode that played a huge role with Shiro and Rin as a character. And I'm looking forward to seeing how Ufotable, you know, tackles this type of development through animation alone. Because if you haven't heard, on the article, like, the article when I got the BD, it came with a little booklet, and an article in Natsu, the writer of the Fate Stay Night series, he stated that he wants to compress the Fate Stay Night series, but he wants to keep the story intact. For instance, he wants the entire story of the visual novel in the anime, but he wants to make it to where it's not, you know, so long. He wants to compress it, but make it tell a story through the animation. So that is the biggest issue that, you know, Ufotable's having with the series right now. They're trying to tell the exact same story, besides using dialogue and inner monologues, they're trying to use the animation, which I have, you know, my hopes for Ufotable to be able to tell a story through animation. I mean, look what they've done to this season, last season, even the Card no Kyoukai series. They know how to do good animation. I'm willing to bet the way they use symbolism in movie 5 of Card no Kyoukai, they can definitely do some great, you know, symbolism and telling a story through animation alone, along with the dialogue added in. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. That's my thoughts when it comes to the beginning of another great run of Fate Stay Night Unlimited Hype Works. You all have a wonderful day. Please be safe. Chibi out.